My name is Cherlyn Robinson.
Okay. My name is Astin WU.
And we're going to be demonstrating for you how to do a survey using industry standard marketing research techniques. So I'm going to be administering the survey to Astin. And so this should let you know how the study should be done. Okay? I'm going to start with the introduction. For the introduction, even though it's standard in research to read from the introduction, for street intercepts, which is what you would be doing, is different because you will be approaching people in an impromptu manner. It is okay to ad-lib or to revise the introduction to suit the situation. But the main components of any introduction, first off, is to introduce yourself and the company. The company is a market research company. It's okay to not say the name. Secondly, to say something, a sentence about the purpose of the study. This particular study is to gain insight from Asian Americans on lifestyle and buying habits. And thirdly, you always tell the respondent how much they're getting paid or compensated for their time. For this particular survey, it's $3. And lastly, you have to give them an idea of the amount of time for the interview. Usually it's, for this survey, it's 10 to 12 minutes. The next part of the survey is called the screener. The purpose of the screener is to determine whether or not the person who you have approached for the interview is actually qualified for the survey. For this particular survey, there are 4 qualifying questions, and I will begin. For the gender, which is question number 1, I do not ask the respondent. Hopefully you can determine that. The first question, how would you describe your ethnic origin?
That would be Chinese.
Okay. Now, let's suppose you say something else. Let me re-ask the question. And this is an instance where it would terminate. How would you describe your ethnic origin?
What do you mean by ethnic origin?
Okay, are you Caucasian, Chinese, or other?
Caucasian.
Oh, okay. Well, sir, thank you so much for your time. Unfortunately, we are interviewing Asian Americans, but thank you anyway.
Okay, thanks a lot.
In that instance, you thank the person for their time. However, you don't give out the incentive. Okay, the incentive is only for people who qualify. The incentive, by the way, is $3. Okay, so let's say that you did qualify. You said Chinese. Let me go on to the next question. In which country were your parents born? China, United States, or other?
China.
Okay. All right, and I will continue if they chose China. If they said United States, they would terminate and I will end the interview. Which of the following best describes your age group? Which say under 18, 18 to 24, 25 to 34, 35 to 44?
25 to 34.
Okay. The way I ask that question is that I kind of invite, through my body language, the person to jump in at any time so I don't have to read the complete list. And he took my cue. The next part of the survey is the main questionnaire. This part of the survey is administered, interviewer administered, meaning that this part you have to ask the respondent the questions as you did with the screener. When you think of all the auto insurance companies, what names of companies come to mind?
Speaking of insurance company, I would think of Allstate, AAA, Geico. Okay.
Any others?
And others, maybe State Farm.
Any others?
No.
You notice that at the end of the question, I always ask any others because we want to make sure that we get a complete response. Have you seen, read, or heard advertising in the past month for any of the following companies? This could be ads either in magazines, newspapers, billboards, on the radio, online, or on TV. Allstate?
No.
Okay. Farmers?
No.
Okay, for the sake of the interview, can you say yeah?
Okay.
Okay, because the next questions pertain to that. Geico?
Yes.
Progresso?
No.
Okay. State Farm?
Yes.
AAA?
Yes.
Nationwide?
No.
Liberty Mutual,
No.
American Family?
No.
Safeco?
No.
21st Century?
No.
Okay. Thinking of farmers insurance, where did you see or hear advertisements for farmers insurance? Was it on a TV, radio, receive something in the mail? You can jump in at any time.
Okay.
Newspaper, magazine, billboard, internet.
Internet.
Internet?
Internet.
Okay. All right. And was that farmers insurance advertising you had seen or heard on the internet, was it targeted to Chinese?
No, not really.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
And I will read to you several statements about farmers insurance. Please tell me how closely each statement describes farmers insurance using a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 means does not describe at all and 5 means describes completely.
Okay. If
you're not familiar enough to rate this company on a particular statement, that's okay. Just tell me how well the statement describes farmers insurance, okay? Is a company you can trust? What number would you give it?
3.
Okay. Offers insurance products that are of good value.
4.
Okay. And I'm not going to read the rest of the responses because it's pretty much the same way. But one note for this particular question, make sure they give you a range and then not just give you all 5s or all 1s. It may mean that they're not understanding what the instruction is. The next portion of this questionnaire is self-administered, meaning that you're going to, the person whom you're interviewing is going to complete the rest of the survey from this point out. The only time that I will come back to the survey is at the very end, which is the last page of the survey. Hi, sir. The rest of this, the questionnaire is self-administered, so I'm going to hand this over to you, and just let me know when you're finished.
Okay. Can I have your pen?
Sure.
Thanks. So I will just scratch out the answers and
Complete the survey.
complete the survey down to the last question. Okay, when I finish the last question, I reached this line. Please give survey back to interviewer. So I will give it back to show. Okay.
Okay. Thanks a lot, sir. If you don't mind, I want to check real quickly to make sure everything was answered.
Oh, sure.
If that's okay. It's just going to take me a minute or so. So what you want to do is just flip through the survey, make sure there are no blank answers where there should be. Make sure that where it asks for one response, that they don't have multiple responses, that everything looks okay. Okay, great. Sir, CR Market Surveys would like to invite you to join our Chinese Omnibus Survey panel. As a participant, you will be asked to complete brief surveys online and by telephone. For your participation, you will earn points for a monetary cash gift. Would you like to participate?
Sure.
Okay, great. Okay, let me get your name.
Astin.
Okay, last name. Okay, the phone number, blah, blah, blah. Email address. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, and sir, that concludes our survey. Here's your $3.
Okay, thanks, and I'd like to participate in your future survey.
Yes, we will certainly be contacting you.
Okay, bye.
Thanks. Bye.